Hello, and welcome to the Consistent Profits Podcast, brought to you by Inside Out Trading and Brian McAvoy, where the focus is on consistency. Because when you have the consistent part down, profits become easy. Oh, there's the magic words. Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Brian McAvoy with a new episode of the Consistent Profits Podcast. I'm excited today to be interviewing Agnieszka Wood, who's been here before. She's a trading mindset coach and founder of A Head Coach. She helps traders who want to make a career from trading but struggle with profit consistency to create a solid mental basis for achieving trading success and financial independence. Thanks for being back on the show today, Agnieszka.
Thank you for having me, Brian. It's always a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. Good to have you here. And also just a little more background on her, because there is a specific purpose in our podcast today. But I want to give you a little bit more of her background. She helps traders to stop failing and start following their trading plan so that they can make consistent profit and live the life they want, because as she puts it, no strategy can make you stick to your trading plan, but you can, and I show you how to do it. She bases her coaching on over a decade of trading experience and 20 years of expertise as an NLP Master Practitioner, which is very cool, and a trainer and a life coach. She discovered a simple but very powerful approach to breaking the cycle of failure and transforming trading into a reliable source of income. And again, thanks for being here and sharing about your program.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah. I'm excited to talk to you today and the reason I wanted to do this is because you've come out with a new course, which I think is really excellent. It's called Unlock Your Trading Mindset and Break the Failing Cycle. And so, I wanted to have you on here today so that we can talk about it and also find out, what you've been, helping traders for a while, and you have other resources. So I wanted to ask you, to start with, what prompted you to go ahead and create this course?
Yeah, sure. So, when I started a head coach and I came up with this idea after getting myself out of the failing cycle, to help other traders to do the same, I developed a program that was specifically designed for traders who want to trade for a living. We all know trading is a career. It's not like, you just jump into something, even though a lot of traders do. And then after 2 months, you're all good. So I designed the program to actually help traders to go through the transformation from failing, from traders who already have strategy, who know how to trade and have been trading for a while, but just couldn't get hang of discipline or self-control, and they kept letting the emotions take over and basically make their decisions, and take them from there, go through the transformation with them, guide them through the transformation of discovering what is blocking them, what is keeping them in that cycle, which basically comes to limiting beliefs in a big part, and of course some mental skills that you need to first of all become aware of, and then practice and learn, and then take them through that process, creating the ideal conditions also within in their lives so that they can perform every day to their best abilities and start building consistency of profits. So that whole program originally was 8 weeks, then I rebuilt it to 12 weeks, and it kind of evolved because I saw the need of accountability for traders, so that evolved, and it is right now, actually, we're working together for 9 months within that program, and with some traders are still within my universe, in my chat room that is free for traders, and in the membership. So I have a really nice, very close community of traders, and they know all each other, and it's a very unique environment. Now, that is for someone who really wants to make the career out of trading. And obviously, if I work with someone for 9 months, there is also a certain ticket, right, to that program. Now, not every single trader who is struggling can afford it, or actually, that's one thing. Can you afford it? I would always ask, can you afford not to do it, right? If you really want to make something a career.
True.
You should follow some kind of education and do everything that helps you. So basically that creating something else that would at least give sort of a kickstart to traders who are not up to that large program with me, that they can still get their foot into the area of trading psychology and mindset other than reading the books, because knowledge is different than knowing. You really have to experience it. So that was the main reason, the main purpose why I have made something that you can much quicker get some results and at least see what is keeping you stuck in that cycle, right? So it's not the actual whole transformation, but just a kickstart.
Oh yeah. Well, of course. And it's cool that you've done this though, because I've done the same thing in the past where I'll be coaching people in a certain, certain training. There's a certain curriculum to it. But after a while, because of your limitation, there's only so much of you to go around. Yeah, making it available through, online lessons and everything. Very cool that you decided to do this. So because, yeah, now you can go ahead and reach more people because
Yeah.
you're not limited to your time, but also, yeah, the affordability. Well, plus the other thing is, and I'm sure you've had people approach you, they heard about you maybe, and they were like, yeah, but I don't know that I'm ready to commit, the time and everything, to that. And so this is kind of an intermediate step, and it's cool. Yeah, it's cool that you're doing this. Now, as far as some of the stuff that you have in the program, I noticed that you have, let me see, let me get back to it here. Because I wanted to ask you about it. You got different sections to it, different parts. And for some reason, I lost the page.
You mean for the like different topics that I'm handling within the course?
Yeah, like the different modules.
Yeah. So the course is basically built from four classes, right? And every class is meant to prepare you for the next class. So it is not like I do it randomly, but it's a process. So in the first part, what is really important is that you become, like, if you want to change something in your trading or in anything in life, you have to become aware of what is going on.
Oh, yeah.
What is it actually happening, right? And what I notice is that a lot of traders talk about their problems that are actually not their problems. So they will talk about, my problem is over trading. My problem is FOMO. My problem is I stick to the loser for too long. My problem is I cannot place the stop. So my approach to this is, it is not actually your problem. I know that it looks like, and you think it's your problem, but this is just a symptom, right? And I don't want to talk about it as a disease, like there is an underlying condition, but it sort of is, because you have an underlying trigger that is being fired off and triggers behavior that makes you overtrade, that makes you stick to the loser and maybe removing your stop, right? Because those triggers are sort of like buttons, automatic buttons on a subconscious level. And if you are not aware even of what is exactly being triggered while you're trading, there is not really a chance you're going to stop it. And you can try, and that's what I see a lot. People say, I just need more discipline. Yeah, but you cannot change something on the behavior level and push yourself and like, no, today I'm going to, because you also know that doesn't work, because at some point the trigger fires off and there goes your discipline, right? And later on you just look at your account and you go like, what did just happen? What did I just do? Why did I do this, right? And every day the same thing. So you have to be ahead of the trigger, but you cannot do that if you're not aware of it to start with, right? So this is basically what the first module is about, the awareness, that you become aware of what is triggering the behavior, what is actually the problem inside that gives you those symptoms, so that you can address it, and then the symptoms, they diminish.
Yeah.
So, well, they don't diminish just by knowing it. So then we go into a second step, and that's the module where you start shifting things in your mind. Because if you think about the mindset, I like to take the word and say the mindset is the setting of your mind. your mind is set in a certain way. So in order, and from that you are acting, you are showing a certain behavior. So if your behavior is not up to your expectations and your liking, right? If you're sabotaging yourself, you need to change the setting of your mind. So that is what you need to, that's what we do in a second class. We are looking, what is the setting of your mind to start with, and which things you need to shift. And I call it a mindset shift.
Yeah.
Because in order to be profitable, you have to make sure that your setting of your mind is focused on the way that the market dynamics work, and that will be in line with what you want to do with trading. Mm-hmm. Just to give you an example, one of the very, very simple setting of people who are very ambitious, and most of traders are, right, is that the harder you work, the more you make, right? This is how we have learned that if I work hard enough, I will be successful. Now, if you put that setting, if you put that belief and that mindset into your trading, you'll probably find yourself over trading a lot and being frustrated, and then that emotion triggering all kinds of other sabotaging behaviors. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. No, it makes total sense. And well, I think it's cool that you're focusing on triggers anyway, because I don't know if you've ever heard of it. There's actually a book entitled Triggers, which
right.
I read years ago. And one of the cool things about it, and you were speaking to it as well here, but one of the main things that the guy was talking about, and I thought it was hilarious at first, he said, your environment, especially in the modern day, our environment is almost designed to trigger us all day long. And the markets are just as bad as anything. Every one of those candles is a trigger. Every indicator is a trigger.
Totally.
And so, but what the guy was talking about in the book, and his main theme of it there was, yeah, like you said, become aware of your triggers. And then you need to manage your environment, because if you don't, you're always subject to all those triggers that are working on you. He says you almost have to look at it like a hostile actor, which
absolutely,
but it's like
absolutely.
True.
And you have to also remember that we are we have like muscle memory as well. Oh, yeah. So it's not only in our mind, but also our body gets triggered. So if you just from life, right? If you bring your body into a state of fight or flight response, mm-hmm. Now you're also not going to think straight. So you have to start being aware of everything that is going on and learn how can you put yourself in that state where you can actually manage those triggers, where I'm not saying that you don't have any triggers, like, people say, I don't want to have any emotions. I don't believe in that. You definitely need emotions. That is what is helping you to distinguish and to keep you on track that you want to go, and also to experience life simply. So I never take that out. Actually, I teach my students to learn how to use their emotions to their advantage in trading. But yeah, our body has certain anchors, right? Mm-hmm. So if you are getting excited during trading or nervous, and you have all kinds of behaviors, right? People will sort of pull their hair or tick, or like it makes you automatically nervous, right? So keeping your body calm also influences your mind. It works together, right? So anything can trigger you, but what it triggers the most is your mind, right? So you see something and now you're getting triggered. So it is not so much that candle that is triggering you, but it is, what do you think when you see that candle? And now you have this whole mechanism going. Now it's like a domino effect. And the key is to learn to first know what those triggers are, so that you can be ahead of it and see it coming. Because now you can turn the track, like the trains, right? You can like have a switch, and don't go into that automatic programming that you've had for years and repeat all those bad trading habits, but you can switch it and start working in a different way. And with time, when you repeat it, it becomes a new habit, which is the new good trading habit.
Yeah. Well, so being an NLP practitioner, do you include, I mean, do you use some NLP in your training and your coaching?
Yes, it's a very good question, Brian. I really love this question because I get this question a lot.
Mhm.
And I have been NLP practitioner, master practitioner. I'm actually also a trainer. I live NLP at this point. I think that NLP became for me a way of living. And yes, I use a lot of techniques from NLP to shift limiting beliefs. I use a lot in my life in general, and also all other sciences or things that I have learned throughout my life. So, I talk a lot about, I implement a lot of energy works into my training. I'm a Reiki master. I'm working a lot with the energy. I've studied Ayurveda, which is a Vedic medicine. And I implement the principles of it into, for example, how to help keeping your energy level at the right level so that you can perform. I work with, I've studied systemic works, which is from, it's a science from Bert Hellinger, a German psychologist.
What was this?
Bert Hellinger.
No, the name of it?
Oh, it's a systemic works.
Systemic.
So it's basically about the connections and the dynamic within the systems, between the principles, how systems work. And it's about those connections and how to make sure that the system is in balance. So this is another part that I implement also into my course. So it's a really very holistic thing, but that's the confident trader. That's the big one. That's why it's also, the whole transformation within the short course. The last 2 days or the last 2 classes are focused on strategies to help you break the cycle. So I give some mental strategies how to shift the sabotaging beliefs, because those thoughts I was talking about that are being triggered, those are beliefs. It's just that they are very strong thoughts, right? These are the thoughts that we have at one point in time said, hey, I think this. And then we kept repeating it to ourselves. It became our belief. And now we think it is as it is. This is true. So that's our belief. And this is what is orchestrating everything we do. So I'm helping to shift those sabotaging beliefs in the 3rd class and giving some strategies how to do it. In the last class, it's actually filled with the practical exercise where you start when you actually shift it. So it does kickstart the journey, and you will learn a lot about yourself. You will see definitely a shift. I can tell you that the students who have finished the course so far had great results. One student, for example, stopped. She said she has improved her irrational trading, so trading without the plan, by 80%.
Wow.
Which is huge. And I'm telling you that this, the belief shifting part is a huge part in sabotage, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you want to stop sabotaging yourself, you have to look at those beliefs. You have to. If you are not ready for it, fine. You might want to struggle a little bit more until you will get ready. But I can tell you that if you don't do that, the chance is that you're going to keep circling, because it's a program that you keep running. And if you run the same program, what results can you expect, right?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, well, very cool. Now, about how long does it usually take for somebody to get through the course?
You can do that. You can do this course. So on top of that one, I also give 3 hours bonus class, which is Freedom from Failing, which is additional information and additional value content about aligning your beliefs with your intentions to become a trader for a living. So it's all 9 hours. Everything is 9 hours of classes. But with exercises, I think a month you should be done with it. If you're committed, a month time, it's really plenty. You can do it much faster if you want. You can do it in 1 week. But I would say give yourself some time. And that's why I also offer an additional, I call it coaching boost. Mm-hmm. So it's extra 4 coaching classes or coaching sessions. It's group sessions. So you can, while you're going through that course, we can meet weekly. And I have 2 times in a week that you can choose from, and just register for a session. And then I will work with you one-on-one. If you say, okay, I got kind of stuck and I'm not sure, is this the belief or is this the belief? Can you help me shift it? That's what those sessions are for. If you don't, you can still ask me questions, because I give you access to an online platform, and under every class there is a space you can write your questions, and I always come back on that pretty quickly. So you get full guidance throughout the program. So it is do it yourself, but I'm there.
Yeah, very cool. Huh. Well, being able to affect change in just 30 days, a month, yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I learned about myself a long time ago, and I'm sure you've run into this with, people that you've worked with, maybe even with yourself. Sometimes it's not so easy to shift a belief, because if you've been carrying it around for decades, especially if you're trying to wrestle with it by yourself, it's like, yeah, it may take, years of battling with it and unsuccessfully. So yeah, to be able to affect change in just a month, that's excellent.
Yeah, and the change, actually, maybe you have experienced it sometimes, that you're talking to someone and you suddenly get this like, oh wait, wow, you get the insight, and it's like this breakthrough. Mm-hmm. That's the moment of change. It's instant. Mm-hmm. What does take time is to, first of all, make the decision, okay, I'm ready to change. That's what takes the longest. But once you're ready and you get that insight, now you need to accept it, right? Now you take that insight, and you have to kind of give yourself time to have it integrated into your life. Mm-hmm. Because it's like, I always compare it to a garden. Mm-hmm. You show me your garden, and I come there, and it's fall, right? Fall period. So you have all the leaves that fell. Those are all your beliefs, right? And you're pretty comfortable with it. It's like, okay, I had my beliefs for a long time, and it's okay. Maybe not all of them work, but at least I know the pain. I got comfortable with that. I'm fine, right? Not very happy, not enthusiastic, but I'm okay. And now I come in and I take the leaf blower and I blow all these beliefs up, right? And they all up in the air, and you're like, whoa, what is happening, right? And I'm like, just look at this. Just look at that. I'm not saying you have to throw away all of them, but just look at that, and maybe some of them are not even true. Maybe you've had them for 20 years and you still keep repeating it. And then when you look at it, you go like, yeah, but actually I don't believe this anymore, right? It has been true then, but now I moved on. Well, why am I having this in my garden? It's taking space, right? So you have to have that openness for self-reflection, to look at yourself. And then it becomes much easier. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that keeps traders from actually succeeding. To look at themselves, to stop blaming everything else, the market, the chat room person, the other trader that gave them a ticker. No, you have to look at yourself, and the market is the best place to do it. Just look at it. You sitting in front of the computer, it's like a mirror, right? You make a mistake, slap in your face, mm-hmm. Right? Learn from it. You just paid the money, right? You just paid your tuition, you lost. So take the lesson. And I think that there's a lot of that resistance, like, I don't want to see it yet. I'm not sure about that. And that's what I see. That's what I see a lot And that's also how I qualify people when they come on the call with me and they want to work with me. This is for me the most important thing. Like, are they ready? Because if you're not ready, I can stand on my head, but I will just waste energy. But if you're ready to change, I guarantee you success. I know I can pull you through, but you have to already had made the decision. I've had enough. And this course is a great place to start. And if you go through this course and say, you know what, I'm ready for more, and you sign up for my program, I deduct the cost of this cost from the main program.
Yeah.
So it's it's a win-win basically.
Yeah, very cool. Well, and the additional support along with it, yeah, that's excellent. Now this is already available on your site, correct?
Yes, it is available on my site, yes, on aheadcoach.com.
Now, as far as finding it, and yeah, to remind everybody, and the link will be in the show notes and description here. Agnieszka's site is aheadcoach.com. The double meaning there.
Yes. You see, because I talk a lot about you have to be ahead of those triggers. You have to be ahead of all this automatic programming. You have to be ahead of it. And also, when you do that, it brings you ahead, right? It brings you forward. But you also have to coach your head to do it.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, yeah, when everybody come to aheadcoach.com, right up at the top, so it's cool. You put a banner on here. It says Unlock Your Trading Mindset, New DIY Course. Cool. And so that's how you can take a look at it. And
yes.
Yeah, I totally recommend that you do because, what you're talking about, I generally deal with the more, I call it like the hard side of trading. Taking your strategy and your properly systemizing it and the testing and the business side of things. And it's cool that you're working on, the mental side. And there are a handful of people, a number of people that are, talking about trading psychology. But one of the reasons I like what you do is, well, first of all, NLP is huge because a lot of people don't realize it. I mean, it's developed a long time ago, neuro-linguistic programming, but it really is the field where you just have an understanding of kind of how humans work and how your brain gets wired the way it does and how to attend to things that when you want to affect change about your life. And so NLP by itself is a huge, an excellent field for affecting change. It's been proven out, and it's that's what made Tony Robbins famous.
Absolutely. I mean, he was my big hero when I started in 1999. I read his book and it was in Dutch. So I tried to actually find it in English, the same title, and I couldn't. I think probably the Awaken the Giant Within is the closest to it. But it was a book that totally, opened me up. And that's also where I started studying NLP and went through all these transformations myself. And I was at that time, 24. So it was a long time ago. And I was, still at that age where I was sort of developing as a human being. And also when I remember that NLP was seen as a sort of, there were people selling it as a sort of a trick, how to find the perfect date, how to mind trick people on a date. And that's where it got kind of a negative connotation. But really, what it is for me anyhow is how to get yourself, how to guide yourself on how to guide your mind to achieve what you want and focus on what you want and keep looking at, does this work for me? It doesn't. Okay, out. Does this work for me? This strategy? Yes. So these are your internal strategies and the way to change them. And I think when I started trading, that came very helpful and handy when I was stuck in a failing cycle. And, at some point I was like, what is happening? I have always achieved what I want in my life, like literally every single goal, right? And well, except for becoming a ballerina, but that's a different story. So, and then I took the NLP and thought, let me try to figure it out. What are those strategies behind, like, what is going on here? What is going on? And then I saw all these subconscious triggers firing off my old limiting beliefs that I had from a past, that I took from my youth, that I kept carrying with me to that day. And that completely changed my trading, but my life, really my life. It changed my life. I'm a different person since then. And I love who I became, because that whole baggage that I still had, even though I was using NLP to achieve my goals, I was being very determined, very perfectionist. So that costed also me a lot of energy. And I think trading and releasing it helped me to go more with the flow, which we know in trading is incredibly important.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the other thing I like about your approach, just right along with NLP, I mean, NLP in general, is you're helping traders to kind of detach from their, their beliefs, their thoughts, and just the routines and all the stuff that gets kind of, the automatic pilot kind of way we operate.
Yeah.
Be able to step back from it and observe it and again, separate from it so that we can do something about it instead of just being caught up in it and fighting it from inside. It's like, no, we can step back and look at it and say, yeah, okay, here's where we need some work and here's what to do about it. And so that's
Totally.
what makes it so much more effective. Well, the other thing is it's also redeeming, though. That's one of my favorite words, because I know, like, my first year of trading, I was just beating myself up. I was just beating myself into the ground for all the stupid stuff I was doing. And a lot of other traders are too. And the thing is, after a while, it's like, yeah, I'm feeling like a loser, and that sucks. And so to have something come along and it's like, no, there was something you didn't know. And here now you can fix that and you find out you're okay and you're a decent human being. You don't, you're not a loser. You were missing something. And so now it's like, yeah, you've been redeemed. You can feel okay about yourself again.
Yeah, no, totally. And detachment is a really huge part of it, because you see the very common thing to do for people is to identify themselves with what they owe, what they know, what function they fulfill, how much money they have. In trading, this comes even more to surface, because you're literally trading money, right? So the money is the product you are dealing with. So when you're losing money, you think you lost like part of yourself. You're not worth it. When you are making money, how much money you will take from the market depends on how much value you give to yourself. How much do you think you are worth, right? And now you're cutting yourself short. So detaching from all of that and detaching yourself from the activity and just simply focus on the process is definitely a big part of that, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Well, I'm excited to go ahead and go through your course just for the heck of it. And to see what all you got in there. I know I've enjoyed our interactions and the stuff that I've learned from you so far. And so, yeah,
Thank you.
let's check out this course. So everybody, yeah, definitely swing by a head coach, take a look at this. It's a very reasonable investment you're asking for it. I mean, this actually, it's like you should be charging more. You really should, because it's going to have.
Well, I tell you even more, and I say it because I really want people to take advantage of it, because so when you're signing up for the course is $199, okay? And then when you are in the checkout process, you will be offered the coaching boost. And if you buy it at that time, at that moment, you're getting $100 off. It's a bargain. You get a month, you get 4 coaching sessions, 4 group coaching sessions for $149.
Wow.
So if you think this is not worth it and you're like, no, let me skip it, then maybe just skip trading, because if you think you're not worth the investment, then I would say skip that course, sign up immediately for the Confident Trader, because you really have a lot of work to do. If you cannot invest in yourself that money to get your trading in the right, place, then I think there's some limiting belief that is guiding that thought. So if you don't sign up for the coaching boost immediately, later on you can still do it, but then you pay $100 extra.
Yeah. Well, And you just touched on something that's really, really important for everybody from a perspective standpoint is when you buy a thing like a new strategy or an indicator or a new monitor for your, trading desk and stuff like that, that's just stuff that you're
Mm,
investing. But when you get training and help like you're getting here with Agnieszka, you're investing in yourself. And like when somebody comes to me for help with with training and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, you're handing us money, but you're investing in yourself because that's where the return is going to come. And so, yeah, you need to look at it that way because that's actually what it is. You're not buying a thing that you now own. This is investing in
right.
you, and you get to benefit from it for the rest of your life, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely.
And so the return on investing in yourself is fantastic because now you get to leave your old struggling self behind and you get to become somebody new and enjoy an entirely different experience for like forever. It's not even, just a momentary thing, like
Yeah,
you go see in 90 minutes, it's over. It's like, no, this is something that's going to last because you're investing
yeah.
in yourself. And that's
You
cool.
know, the thing is with discovering your triggers or discovering something new in life, but that's pure learning process, right? Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So that's the good thing. Like if you get aware, if you become aware of your trigger, now you will want to change it. So this will be really a stepping stone to your transformation, to a further process. And now already in that course, I start, you start making those changes. So just like with the learning process, when the first phase is you don't know what you don't know, right? That's the happy phase. You're like, okay, I don't know. The second part is I don't, now I know what I don't know.
Mhm.
Now you go like, okay, I got to learn this. And I'm sure you have experienced that in trading as well.
Oh, yeah.
Now you start learning it. So that would be when you start getting into that course. And now you are aware of all the things that you have learned. In trading, it's all the indicators, all the things you have to pay attention to. You get this paralysis by analysis. Here you will become aware of the triggers, and now you will see, okay, this is how I function, and you will start noticing during trading, oh, I did it again, and now you can start correcting it and say, hey, I noticed it again, it's coming. Now I can be upfront and not react to it, or at least try not to react to it, and you can start changing it. Now, once you start repeating that corrected behavior, let's say that the good habits after you have changed those triggers, or I call it neutralize those triggers, right? Because the triggers will be still firing, but you'll be like, I don't even notice it. I'm immune to it. It's not working, right? The button is broken. You go to the fourth phase where you don't know what you know. And now you're back in the happy phase. Like, I'm just doing it. That's why people sometimes say, are you now doing the NLP on me? I'm like, I have no idea. I'm just being me. I do NLP all the time. I think at this point because that's how I think, right?
Sure.
I focus on what I want. I focus on the good. Um, yeah. So if you want to get to a different phase in your trading, I would say just start changing your beliefs and start changing your mind setting.
Well, this course, I'm really glad to find out that you put this together because yeah, this is going to help. This is going to help a lot of good people get over
I
some
hope
stuff
so.
way right now. And so, thank you for coming on here today because like I said, I saw that you had, posted it on LinkedIn, and that's when we got to talking. It's like, yeah, I want to get you on the show here and let everybody know about this because this is really cool. And yes, I am shamelessly plugging her course because I just know that, yeah, if you're serious about wanting to be successful as a trader and enjoy it and make money from it, this is something that it's worth investing in because again, you're investing in yourself. You're helping remove obstacles that are keeping you from, what you want consciously and
Yeah.
deal with some of the subconscious stuff that you've been doing on autopilot without understanding it. And now you can start making steps toward, significant steps toward, realizing what you want from your trading. And so,
Exactly.
yeah, I'm strongly recommending go ahead and get it. I mean, good grief, a couple $100. It's not a lot of money. Trading is not a penny ante game. And
Yeah.
this is really, I mean, this is an extremely good investment, and you will see an impact with it. So do it. You'll be glad.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that recommendation. And thank you so much for having me here because, it's really, I hope it helps to get the message out there. And yeah, you said I should be charging more for it, but this is the reason why I don't, is because I really want to, I always wanted to help more people and I cannot do it on one-on-one. So I have been thinking about developing something that would be helping more people that I can actually kind of give it away. And then to the broader audience to put it out there. And then, the group sessions, of course, are the moments where we can work together and, hop on a hot seat. So just sort of working one-on-one, even in a group setting, which is, by the way, really, really good to do because it teaches you vulnerability, and vulnerability is a huge thing in trading.
Cool. Well, again, Agnieszka, thanks for being game for doing this today and, sharing with us about your program. Very worthwhile, extremely worthwhile. Thanks for putting it together. A lot of people don't realize how much work and effort go into putting together a course like you have here. And so, and then of course, getting the word out there about it. So yeah, thanks for taking the time today and doing this.
Thank you, Brian, for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Always good to have you on. And everybody, we'll go ahead and wrap things up here, but yeah, definitely swing by Agnieszka's site. Again, it's aheadcoach.com. And, always continue pursuing the growth and developing yourself as a trader, investing in yourself. It will always pay. I mean, investing in yourself always pays off. So, make sure you do. And, just, keep going on with trading. It's a great occupation. And, keep attending podcasts like this because I'm going to be bringing, the best that I can. And Agnieszka is definitely amongst that group as far as the can.
And thank you for doing that, Brian. You're on fire with your podcast. So I always recommend it to everyone. This is a pretty amazing job you're doing there.
Oh, thank you. Well, let's go and wrap things up. Again, thank you, Agnieszka, and everybody. We'll see you on the next episode of the Consistent Profits Podcast. Cheers.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us today on the Consistent Profits Podcast, brought to you by Inside Out Trading. Make sure to swing by Inside Out Trading and pick up your copy of The Proven Formula for Consistent Monthly Profits. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to subscribe on your favorite channel, and we'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.